Welcome to Legit Street Cars and welcome to a legit street experiment. In today's video, I'm going to attempt, keyword here is attempt, to clean the very dirty internals of my BMW engine using 20 gallons of water. Now, a few months ago, I tried pouring water in the engine of my 325i. It had a sticking valve due to heavy carbon buildup, and it sounded like this. At 170,000 miles, the pistons looked like this, and carbon was becoming a real issue. I ran 20 ounces of H2O through the engine, and not only did it clean the valve and fix the issue, it also did a decent job of cleaning the tops of the pistons. I've done this with seafoam and similar products in the past, and I've never seen results like this, so I thought to myself, if I was impressed with what 20 ounces did to this engine, how about we try 20 gallons and see if we can get this thing to sparkle internally and be the cleanest engine on the internet. That will be its claim to fame if this all works. And I'll speak a little bit more on this at the end of the video, but you guys can actually win my 1989 325i. I started a fundraiser for the National MS Society, so you can click on my link down below, and for every $5 you donate, you get one entry to win this car. So I'm covering taxes and shipping, and 100% of your donation goes straight to the MS Society. And my goal is to help rid the world of this horrible disease. So you guys can win this car for as little as $5. Check out the link down below. Now let's get started with our experiment. Okay, I'm just kidding. I'm not actually gonna use my reserve purified water for this experiment. We'll just probably continue to refill that Country Delight bottle as it's the most abused. So this will be going back onto shelves for just in case. And for now, we need to get a baseline boroscope so we can do a before and after at the end. All right, so we're starting off with cylinder 1. Now the piston is pretty far up, and you can see, this is pretty nasty. And cylinder number 2, also very, very dirty still. And here is cylinder number 3. You can see the valve there is slightly open. And I think this is the one I boroscoped in the last video, and it looked much cleaner, as you can see there. So we might have to work on water distribution in the intake. All right, cylinder number 4. Okay, pretty standard. Cylinder 5 is right up in our face, but quite a bit of carbon. And das Zylinder 6, pretty bad. And a friend of mine who finally convinced me to make this very video, he's much older than me, but he said back in the day on his carbureted vehicles, they would literally take a garden hose to a vacuum line and dump water in the engine to clean it. Now, I don't recommend that. For that matter, I don't recommend anything you're gonna see in this video. It's just a fun experiment for YouTube. So no matter how clean this engine gets, I mean, I hope it gets clean. Don't try any of this at home. You've been warned. Oh, it's got 174,000 miles. But what I'm doing right now is I'm driving around to get the engine up to operating temperature, because the whole idea here is that we're introducing water into the engine that will turn into steam. So we're actually steam cleaning the insides of the engine. This thing runs and drives so nice. When I got it, it had been sitting for 10 years. I tripped him in a second. And it hadn't ran in 10 years, but we got it to run, we got it to drive, we got it to stop. It had no brakes. We've gotten this E30 BMW into really nice driver condition so far. All right. Every hood should open like that. That's so cool. All right, let's get this party started. I have my Country Delight water waiting for me, my funnel. And just like the previous video, I'm going to try and keep this engine running with a massive vacuum leak. It's kind of hard to do, but we'll get it, we'll get it. We did it in the last one. I kind of got to play with the throttle. Come on, baby. Once I get the water flowing, just... I did it. Ugh. All right, hang on. All right, so I got Peter in the car. This is really difficult to keep going. I tried revving it up. Anyway, so go ahead, Peter, keep it alive. Okay. Let it die on purpose. Okay, so I figured out kind of an easier, quicker method of doing this, and you can see that a lot of smoke is coming out of the tailpipe. It is kind of cold out. So we are getting steam, obviously, but I do think some of that, because it smells oily, I do think some of that is the crud burning up in the engine. But if I keep the RPMs higher, last time I tried to keep them low for good vacuum, but you know, really I'm pouring it in there. So I've kept the RPMs higher, and in about 5 minutes or so, I've done a half gallon. So that's pretty good. I only have to do 40 more of those in order to finish this entire experiment. Okay, gotta be able to do this on my own. Good smoke, people. Oh yeah. I would just like to point out that it's mid-January 2022, and I recently found this in someone's recycling bin, so it's a little weird. But anyway, we are 1 gallon down. 1 gallon deep? I don't know, whatever. So I'm just gonna do one of these here so we can keep track, and I'll go fill this guy up. It's kind of like rolling coal on my own Tesla. Here we go. Wow, this is so satisfying. Love it. Doesn't take that long. Drink, drink, drink. My neighbors love me over here too. At least I'm not filming by the house anymore. Don't die on me. There you go. God, this thing idles so nice. Obviously that was a little sped up for you guys, but I just checked the camera. We're at 5 minutes and 49 seconds. Gallon number 2, not bad. Well, we do have a check engine light that has come on. I think that's pretty normal considering the massive vacuum leak. And in between each gallon, I am letting the engine warm back up because it's getting colder as we run this cold water through the intake manifold, and I want to make sure that everything is piping hot so it turns into steam. While the engine's warming up, I'm going to take a little break and catch up on one of my shows. Not sure which one yet, and I'll probably watch it out there, but let me show you guys how I'm able to unlock even more content from my streaming services by using today's video sponsor, NordVPN, and I'm definitely not watching whatever that is. This is Netflix, and like many streaming services, your content is limited by your location, so when I search for the show Fargo, it's nowhere to be found in the US, but since I have NordVPN, I can virtually transport myself to France, hit refresh, and just like that, I'm continuing a really cool but really weird show that I started 2 years ago. Content unblocking can also save you from buying a season of a show because you just can't wait for it to come out for free. We could only find Outlander Season 5 on Amazon for $20, but it came out early on Netflix in Australia, so with just a click of a mouse, we save $20 and get to continue to binge watch. I could go on forever with examples, but even my mom, who's from Italy, gets to watch her favorite Italian show, Don Matteo, that's normally available only to people in Italy. You can stream sports from all over the world. They're the fastest VPN, the most secure with 5,200 servers worldwide, and you can get NordVPN on all of your devices, so just go to nordvpn.com/legit or click on my link in the video description box. When you do, you're gonna get a massive discount off of their 2-year plan, making this only a few dollars a month. Plus, they're gonna throw in an additional month for free, and there's a 30-day money-back guarantee, so no risk for you. Try this out, see what kind of content you can unblock. Now, with that, let's get back under the hood. so we're on gallon number 5, and this thing smells phenomenal. It doesn't smell like much. It's like a modern low emissions Honda. This thing is running great. So right now I'm gonna stick the camera right where it is right now, and I wanna see if water is just coming right out of this tailpipe, because it's hard to tell, I'm sure even for you guys, with all the smoke. We got a little bit of water coming right out of the tailpipe, but nothing substantial. And something else I've learned after, well, almost 6 gallons at this point, is that if I stop about every quarter or half gallon and just let the engine warm back up, that we can pour more water in. So I'm still at right around 5 minutes per gallon, and that seems to be the sweet spot where we're not ever killing the engine with the water. We're not even really coming close. And as long as we keep the RPMs up, we can dump water in, clear it up for like 5 to 10 seconds, dump more water in, and it's going a lot quicker than I thought. All right, guys, let me show you how I'm doing this without an assistant. I'm gonna keep the RPM up, and we just barely have this on. This thing will suck your finger in. At this point, give it one of these. Then I give it a break, clear it up. That's all there is to it. We're on gallon number 8, and I'm feeding it in a little slower, so I'm taking about 8 or 9 minutes now per gallon, which is honestly still really quick. I thought this was gonna take like 8 hours. So then I just hook this back up and I let it warm up again and kind of just run all the water out of it, give it a few more revs. But you can see it clears up almost immediately. Now also, I just wanna say, do not do this at home, okay? Don't pour any water at all into your engine at home. I'm doing this because I was curious. This is an experiment I'm doing, but that doesn't mean you should do it. You could hydro lock your engine depending on the intake manifold and how much you're pouring. Water and engine is bad. Don't do this at home. I'm a trained professional in a closed course. No animals were hurt. Disclaimer on the bottom of the screen. Don't do this. I mean, if you want to do it, go do it. It's a free world. Do what you want to do, but just understand the risk. Water inside of an engine can equal bent rod. I don't think any of us want that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, so we have gone through 10 gallons now. This engine has ingested 10 gallons of Country Delight fat-free milk, and it has sprung a leak. We have a hole in this. I haven't been too gentle with it, bringing it in and out and filling it up. So we might move to a new gallon. But anyway, at this point, we are halfway through the test. I'm going to pull all the plugs. So the engine has been cooling off for about 15, 20 minutes. So I'm gonna pull the plugs and we're gonna boroscope. Yeah, the spark plugs are looking very, very clean after 10 gallons of water. Can't wait to see what the cylinder looks like. All right, guys, here we go. I'm pretty nervous about this. I mean, it's just water, it's free, but did it do anything? All right, so here is piston 1. It's all the way up. Kind of hard to tell, but I don't know. It looks pretty dirty to me. Let's go ahead and move over to cylinder number 2. Ugh, it also looks kind of the same. Huh. And cylinder 3. All right, I think we got a couple clean spots there in the corner. Yeah, you can see right there by the valve relief, that looks pretty awesome, but still a lot of carbon overall. And let's see this guy, number 4. Wow, it definitely ate through some of the carbon there. Yeah, right at the edge there, I mean, you can just see the aluminum piston. It doesn't really have anything. Sometimes it's a little hard to control these boroscopes and see in there, but you can see where the carbon was, and then kind of the clean spots. There we go. And here is cylinder 5. This one is up there. Kind of hard to see. And cylinder 6, more of the same. This piston is far up, but you can see a little bit more of the piston right there. So that part looks clean. Okay, overall, I gotta say, I'm a little disappointed. Cylinder number 4 looks clean, and I gotta look back at the old video, but that might have been the one that had the sticking valve, which would make sense. When I boroscoped it, I thought it looked much cleaner. So this makes me think that maybe we have a water distribution issue. Maybe where I'm pouring the water in right after the throttle body, it's just going right into cylinder 4 basically, and it's not hitting any of the other cylinders. So I gotta find somewhere else to tap in to get this water to distribute evenly. All right, so I think I might have found the perfect vacuum line so we can get better distribution of this water, and it's right here. Now, there's a bracket that normally goes here, so it's missing 2 bolts. I just didn't put the bracket back on. So I wanna remove this and just see what's on the backside. And as long as this isn't baffled or anything weird on the inside, we should be good. Let's take a look here. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty small port, but this might work. This might work really well, actually. And let's see what's inside. That's a pretty cool shot of the other side of the throttle body. You know we got to get the boroscope in here. All right, here we go. Inside the intake manifold. Yeah, it's really bright in here. You can see a little bit of water there. And how does this guy look? Yeah, it looks pretty clean. I didn't get a before of this, so I'm not really sure what it did look like. But yeah, these are the individual runners that lead to the cylinder head. I think this is number 4. Looks pretty dirty. They all look the same, honestly. They all look the same. Is this water doing nothing? All right, well, anyway, let's feed some water in over here. Here's our new setup. I removed that vacuum hose, added a little bit to it. Now we got this monstrosity. It seems to run really well with this little vacuum leak. And we've switched it up to the Whole Foods 365 organic flavor of water. And now it just sips it right out of the gallon. Kind of nice. But I still need to give it throttle. As you can tell, it wants to die. Yeah. So we still have to clear it up. Still getting a nice little plume of steam out the back. So I think for this, I'm gonna go much slower. For these remaining 10 gallons, I'm gonna spend probably 15 minutes on each gallon. I think we're gonna get a lot better distribution on this backside. I was going in here last time, but it's not a straight shot. I think the water gets interrupted and then just kind of puddles up by the throttle body. Right here is just straight into these runners, and this should work a lot better. All right, here we go. I'm gonna give it some throttle now too, see how this works. Not bad. It goes pretty quick if I wanted to. Oh, this is crazy. The intake manifold is freezing. It is ice cold right now. Wow. Yeah, I think I'm gonna need to let this engine warm up in between a lot more than I thought. This is so cold. I felt this before and we were not getting anywhere near this kind of distribution. This is great. Every quarter gallon or so, I'm gonna have to warm it back up. This is gonna take a while. I'm having a hard time keeping this intake manifold warm, so it's been idling for like 10 minutes now without any water, and we're at 73. Watch when I run a little bit of water through it. All right, we're at 60 right now. It drops down really quick. 57. Yeah, it's at about 57 degrees now. 56. It gets really cold. It's really hard to get to the very bottom of the gallon. Let's see here. Man, this thing is so cold. Yeah, like 55 degrees. All right, next. All right, guys, we're on gallon number 3. It's been 45 minutes to do 3 gallons, so I'm definitely taking my time here. It's not too bad. I'm glad I got started really early in the morning. But yeah, this intake, it's just really cold. Even if I let it run for 20 minutes in between, it only gets up to about 75 degrees. So we're not anywhere near the intake manifold flashing this water off and turning it into steam anyway, so I don't really think this matters. But I am still letting the engine warm up every once in a while because I'm gonna assume we're super cooling the combustion chambers as well, and we want this water to turn into steam. So I've used methanol injection and water injection on a bunch of my boosted cars. This is a pretty good testament to how well this works, and this is mediocre at best distribution. Usually with those kits, you have a really nice nozzle that's gonna atomize the water and spread it out evenly into each runner. And yeah, we're just kind of dribbling in here. So if anything, I get to feel real world how much cooler an aluminum intake gets with water injection, but I'm really hoping that when we boroscope the next time, we see a big difference from before. Anyway, guys, there's only so much footage and commentary I can make when pouring water into the engine. You guys have seen exactly how I'm doing this, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do the other 7 gallons. All right, guys, I'm done. I am done. That is 10 more gallons, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, yeah. All right, we got 10 gallons of water. My thumb, my throttle thumb, it's got like a permanent indentation in it. It hurts, it's cold. The sun is starting to go down. I accidentally just stepped on our last gallon of milk. So let's go ahead and put this back where it belongs. And I totally burnt the vacuum tube that's normally for my little pneumatic brake bleeder, but that's okay. All right, guys, so after 20 gallons of water, we're going in cylinder number 1. Okay, it's a little bright spot right there. I like that. Wow. Okay, we didn't see that before. That looks really clean, really nice. And the middle, still kind of dirty. See the cross-hatching though in the cylinders? This thing has 174,000 miles on it. The engine's in excellent condition. All right, that looks okay. Let's move on to cylinder 2. Okay, this one's all the way up. Yeah, okay. It might be clean around the edges, but this is a close-up of the center of the piston. A lot of carbon still. Didn't really do too much here. You can see where it maybe started to break it up, but I mean, we did 20 gallons of water. I mean, how much more are we supposed to do? Cylinder 3, clean around the edges. You can see the valve relief there, but the center still pretty nasty. Now, cylinder 4 looked the cleanest in the last video. And let's see. Yeah, not good. It's getting these edges really nice, but the center, you can still see some of the water in there. The center, just not that pretty. Cylinder 5 is right in our face, looks kind of nasty. And cylinder 6, what do we got here? Yeah, definitely clean around the edges, probably all the way around on this one. I mean, where it's worked well, look at that. But wow, just a ton of buildup still. Oh, this thing runs so good. Shifts beautifully. This is just a joy to drive. Everything's in the right spot. I now realize why these E30 BMWs are so popular. They handle really well. They're small cars, they look good. Very classic, very 80s. But overall, I'm pretty disappointed in today's results. The water injection, to me, it just wasn't worth it. It didn't do that much. Now, that's not to say that water injection in general doesn't clean the internals of an engine. I've seen this on engines that have proper water injection where you have a nozzle that atomizes the water into a fine mist. I've seen this on my own cars that have a water and methanol mixture run through them for years, and you take the engine apart and they're really clean inside. I just think what we did in this video isn't the proper method for using water to clean an engine. I think if anything, we needed to really mist the water in. I think dumping it in and cooling everything off really just reduced the steam power that's needed to clean carbon off. And I tried, I was out there for like 6 or 7 hours, and I tried letting the engine warm back up in between. It would have taken me like days to do it properly, and I just think the droplets were too big. There wasn't droplets, it was literally just water being dumped in. So yeah, in the end, I just don't see how this works. And a few people I've talked to said they used to do this back in the day as a method of cleaning engines, and I just don't see it. I don't know. Comment down below if you've ever done what I did in this video, pretty much, and has it ever worked? I apologize for the sun glare. The sun is setting right now, but let's talk about the raffle, the E30 giveaway. So what you can win is a 1989 325i with a clean title and 174,000 miles. I like to call this car a good driving project. So this car starts right up, it doesn't overheat, it runs well, it doesn't smoke, it stops well, and you could just get up and go and drive wherever you'd like, and I think it's in pretty good condition, but it does need some restoration. So depending on how far you want to go with this car will determine how much work is needed. Now, the interior on this car is in really good condition. The front seats have been covered by factory BMW wool seat covers since 1989, so they're practically new. The dash has one little crack on it, but all the buttons, everything, the cluster, the steering wheel is in excellent condition. The back seats look perfect, like they've never been sat in. So you have a really good interior. You really don't have to do much but fix the dash inside of here. Now, the exterior has what I'd like to call a little bit of patina. So overall, if you wanted this to be perfect, it would need to be stripped down and repainted. There are a couple little spots of rust, but nothing major, and the car is not rotted. Everything is there, it's got good bones, and if you did body work at home, you could probably fix this up on the cheap. So overall, you're getting a good running and driving E30. It's got that classic look, it's got a clean title, and it's ready to go to the next owners. So the way this is gonna work is really simple. You just click on the link down below and you donate to the MS Society. And what happens is for every $5 that you donate, I count that as one entry. So what happens is, since it's my fundraiser, I get a notification when someone donates. I can see your name and how much you've donated, and then I will put you in a spreadsheet. So for example, let's say Joe Schmo donates $25. That is 5 entries. So he, for example, would get 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then the next guy would get, 5 and 6 if he donated $10. So these numbers get assigned to your name, and then I'm just gonna use a random number software that's just gonna pick a random number, and that's the winner. So the more entries you buy, the better chance you have of winning, because you're gonna have more numbers. So I don't know how many people are gonna be in this. I've never done anything like this, guys. This might be a very small drawing. So you might actually win this car. And if you win the car and you're anywhere around the Chicagoland area, I'll come with to deliver the car. But if not, I'm gonna cover shipping and taxes. This giveaway is only for the lower 48 states. I'm not shipping this to Alaska or Hawaii or outside of the United States. So all the details for this will be in the video description box next to the link. But it's a pretty easy raffle. Just donate some money, help a good cause, potentially win this car. Everybody wins. So anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. I really hope you enjoyed this experiment. I really hope you try and win this car. And like I said, the details will be down below, including the date that I'll be picking the winner. And that'll be announced here on YouTube and on all my social media at Legit Street Cars on Instagram and on Facebook. But all the info is down below. Check it out. Give this video a big thumbs up, share the video, subscribe if you're new, and most importantly, have a great day. I'll catch all of you in the next video.